Intel's new second-gen Bitcoin miner is looking, well, pretty darn good. Welcome to the Rabid Mining YouTube channel, and it looks like Intel's second-gen Bitcoin miner's performance and pricing is listed, and it leads the market. Now, previously, I did look into their other miner when they first said they were releasing miners. It was being pumped up a lot, but based on the specs, it just wasn't looking too great, especially for a new type of miner being released. Now, moving forward, I believe that was only a prototype, and they finally released the numbers on this beast right here. Intel's entrance into the Bitcoin mining hardware market is undoubtedly disruptive, and giving new information that has come to light, it now looks like the company's mining hardware could have the best price to performance ratio on the market. Intel recently presented its prototype chip and Bitcoin miner at a recent tech conference, but those models aren't the ones shipping to customers. The second-gen Bonanza mine chips that are shipped to customers have remained shrouded in mystery. However, a recent SEC filing by one of Intel's premier partners has revealed both the pricing and performance of Intel's second-gen Bonanza Mine BMZ2 Bitcoin miners. According to the listing, BMZ2's performance weighs in at 135 terahash per second with 26 joules per terahash of efficiency. Additionally, the miner is roughly half the cost of a competing Bitmain S19 Pro, while being 15% more efficient, rivaling the best hardware on the market from competing companies. The new SEC filed by Grid now tells us the basics of the shipping Bonanza Mine systems HT to hash index. The slide doesn't specifically name Intel's hardware next to the specs. However, all of the details, including fixed pricing, guaranteed chip allocation of 25% of production capacity, and the top-tier US manufacturer details. Intel is the only US-based Bitcoin hardware manufacturer, line up perfectly with Grid's prior supply agreement disclosures with Intel. As such, these performance specifications and pricing are assured for the second-gen Bonanza Mine systems, but with the caveat that these systems could be tailor-made for Grid. That means we could see a slight difference in performance pricing for different custom designs, like those we expect to see from Block. Now, here's how Intel's new ASIC miner does compete against some of the top brands currently on the market. Now, the S19J XP isn't currently released yet, but it is coming soon. It's going to be, Bitmain's next big thing. So we have 21.5 joules per terahash, 140 terahash, and 3010 watts. This thing is an absolute monster. But Intel is not far behind with their 135 terahash and 3510 watts for 26 joules per terahash, and that is long above everything else. So lowest is better here, obviously. 26, the next competitor in advance here is probably would be the S19J, where Intel is actually defeating it in joules per terahash. The slide lists performance of the new miner at 135 terahash with 26 joules per terahash of efficiency, second only to Bitmain's S19J XP system. The Bonanza Mine powered system is also 15% more efficient than the next best system on the market, the Bitmain S19J Pro. Peak performance for the BMZ2 system weighs in at a competitive 135 terahash per second. A bit of basic math reveals the system runs at approximately 3510 watts. Now, if you're curious on profitability of Intel's actual ASIC miner here at today's current market right now, here I punched in the parameters: 135 terahash at 33,510 watts, average cost of 12 cents per kilowatt hour, and a 1% pool fee. That is netting you $476 per month. That's actually pretty good. And remember, depending on your power capacities and everything, if you upgrade this to two of them, that's just under $1,000 a month after paying for your power. Now remember, a lot of these Bitcoin mining farms, they only pay 2 cents power. Now look what happens if you actually drop this down to 2 cents per kilowatt hour. You are sitting at $729 a month on a single unit. That is absolutely insane. Here's another chart that kind of shows exactly where this miner is sitting. So higher is better in terms of terahash, and the farther to the left you are, that's your efficiency. And this Intel miner is sitting right here, just under the S19J XP from Bitmain, which hasn't yet released. Now, originally looking at their older miner based on current stats that I thought before, 40 terahash at 3600 watts was absolutely insane. I could not figure out why this thing is promoted as being such a good miner. No matter how cheap it is, you'd be wasting a lot of power. So that miner is sitting right here, but that was just the prototype. Moving fast forward to today, looks like the miner they are releasing is this guy right here. And yes, this thing is looking absolutely amazing. Now, we plotted performance versus efficiency in the chart above, with results in the upper left-hand corner being the most desirable. The BMZ2 chips are clearly far more performant and efficient than the prototype BMZ1, which we kind of looked at. That thing is way down there, down and to the right, which is what we don't want to see. Additionally, the BMZ2 powered Intel system only trails Bitmain's premier Antminer S19J XP by a small margin. But these performance and efficiency metrics are close enough that pricing and supply will be the determining factors for most buyers. That is 100% correct. So if this thing is fairly decently priced, obviously a lot of people will be jumping on them and taking them sales away from Bitmain. Again, depending on how available this actually is. Grid says the new Intel mining systems cost $5,625 per miner, which is actually pretty cheap. That's pretty amazing, actually. Given that Grid has guaranteed access to 25% of Intel's production capacity, we expect the company to benefit from volume pricing, so that may be a discounted thing. Single units, if you can even order them in single units, could be, $6,000 or $7,000 each. In either case, that's roughly half the price of the $10,455 of the Bitmain S19J Pro. But it's noteworthy that the pricing for the S19J Pro can fluctuate widely. Bitmain and other Bitcoin hardware providers adjust pricing daily based on Bitcoin spot valuation and the projected payoff time, thus exposing customers to Bitcoin volatility and exorbitant pricing. So if you're unfamiliar, third-party sellers, Bitmain is obviously the cheapest way to get from this, and third-party sellers, they jack those prices up quite a bit, and it all factors in on the price of crypto. So if we're in a winter, all the prices are down, these miners are going to be a lot cheaper. But if we are in a bull run, expect, ×4 at least. Additionally, the existing mining hardware providers are based in China and suffer from long lead times and severe supply disruptions and shortages due to their lack of supply chain control. These companies also have to deal with the 25% tariffs for products that originate in China and are opposed to the volatility associated with a longer supply chain, which can be especially punishing for equipment bound for the US due to the increased cost of shipping and logistics. In contrast, Intel sticks to fixed pricing that isn't based on Bitcoin spot pricing, and the company is based in the US, thus avoiding tariffs and other expenses while simplifying support. These are important advantages because China's ban on mining has made the US the primary destination for cryptocurrency miners. In the end, factoring in Intel's pricing and logistics advantages, the BMZ2S systems could win over competing miners. Intel's first publicly named customers include Block, formerly known as Square and helmed by CEO Jack Dorsey of Twitter fame, Argo Blockchain, and Grid Infrastructure. Given the competitive performance pricing and advantages of being a US-based supplier, that list will surely grow after Intel Silicon starts to hit the market in the second half of this year. There we have it, guys. So I'm actually curious, what do you guys think about this? This is actually pretty big news. Intel making ASICs, and they're actually pretty good. So, it'll be cheaper to purchase, cheaper on shipping fees. But again, as a residential miner, this isn't really a thing to do. Most residential miners don't really go big on Bitcoin because you do need that cheaper power. So this is more designed towards the farms and whatnot. But if you have cheap power, you're running solar or something, or you have the power capacity to run a couple of these, then I would say it is definitely worth it. The future of Bitcoin is always on the rise. Thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. I will see you guys on the next one. Rabid out. Thank you for watching my video, and if you haven't seen one of these, be sure to check them out. And if you already seen them, maybe you missed something, might have to watch it one more time. And if you just let it play in the background, that's all right as well. I do try to live stream every weekend as well as every couple days during the week, so be sure to be subscribed so you don't miss that. As always, have a great day.